Ray, nice to have you again in Rock Hard
Thank you.
Ways.
Good to be here, man. Good to see
Um, New band, North Sea Echoes.
you.
Have you ever thought about something like Matthäus Alder, but it's the Arch Matthäus thing that made
Yeah,
that
that was
difficult?
already taken. That was taken, so we couldn't really go down that path.
So how
And
did
so
you
we just,
how did you end up using these North Sea Echoes? I can't find any relation in this.
it was when we were writing everything, we had no idea. We hadn't discussed if we're going to name it a group or whatever. We just didn't think about it. We were just writing, and when it came down to naming it, what we were going to call it, of course, we couldn't call it Alder Matthäus or Matthäus Alder because that was already taken with the Arch Matthäus thing. So we started thinking of names, and Jim and I both have this thing where we have lists. We make lists. I have a list on my phone and my notes. If I hear something interesting or see something interesting, I write it down. So maybe I use it for a lyric or a song title or whatever. And so well, let's go through our list. So we did, and he had North Sea Echoes written down. It sounded really cool. Um, it just kind of fit the music, very dark and sort of just vast and cold and kind of, I don't know, it just fit the style of the music. So we decided to go with that. And um, we, it's funny because people ask, what the band, the group, and we're like, we don't even know what it's, is it a group? Is it a band? Is it a project? Like, we just never thought that far ahead. It's just more of writing the music and putting it out. So at this point, we don't know what we are. We're just we're a name. So we're North Sea. The two of us are
A
North Sea.
label called North
Yeah,
Sea Echoes.
yeah, that's pretty much it right now. So we'll see in the future.
Entrepreneurs. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and the title, it reminded me of Long Day, Good Night. It has this opposition, these
Yeah.
opposite words. So it's four words again and opposite meanings. Really good, terrible things.
Yeah. Very oxymoronic.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
this is
It
another
was
big word. Yeah.
another interesting thing. Yeah, it was something in our notes. It's something I had written down. It doesn't really mean anything except that it is an oxymoron. Um, and it just seemed fitting again to the lyrics and to the music. Not that the lyrics are negative or positive. They're just kind of telling stories and I don't know, dealing with human emotions and whatnot. But it just kind of fit the vibe of North Sea Echoes, really good, terrible things. So we went with that. And again, I don't know where I heard that. It was just something I heard and I wrote down one day. I guess I have some weird shit written in my notes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know why that it sounded interesting.
You should look into that
Yeah, yeah,
because it's really weird.
yeah. I really need to start looking through my notes again, see where my head is.
So,
Yeah,
if,
we just
if I had to pick a Fates Warning song that reminds me of North Sea Echoes thing, that would definitely be When Snow Falls from your last album.
yeah.
Was it a kind of predecessor of what's to come in the future?
I mean, that was just a song that Jim came up with, and I loved it. As soon as I heard it, I couldn't wait to start working on it. I love the style. I love like how it worked and how it made me feel to write. And I was like really happy to do that song. And we were both happy with it. It just wasn't one of the most popular songs on the album. I don't know which one really is, but that wasn't. But I guess from all our years, every album is different. And we try to do different things, experiment, whatever. And that was one of them. And for us, we really liked it. So that's kind of what this turned into. It's that very style, that electronic background with guitars. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess, the predecessor to what you hear on this album. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have gotten used to listening to Jim playing ambient like music, like he
Mm-hmm.
did with in Tuesday the Sky, in OSI, his instrumental albums. But how about you? We haven't seen you in such a project singing that kind of music. Never.
No, it was something I thought of. It's funny because when he did contact me, I was like, I've always thought about I wanted to do like a sort of acoustic album, more acoustic than piano based, but I love being able to sing, you know. Sakis, I like to sing. I don't like to yell all the time. Although I enjoy it, but I really want to do something different. But I thought when I was doing a solo album, I was thinking maybe I'll do something like that, but I'm figuring people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear me just doing acoustic music. So when it came time to do this, I was like, this is perfect. I think this is absolutely perfect. And I was able to you know, just sing so quietly. And it was so nice, man, just to not yell all the time. I had my voice every day, you know. In the studio, sometimes I lose my voice because I'm just singing for 8 hours, 10 hours a day. But, you know, here I record now at home. And um, that album I did here, and it was just nice. So I don't know, maybe sometime in the future I will be able to do something like that. But for this was a pleasure, a delight. I was so happy to be able to do this with Jim. So we'll see.
Mhm. You have, I think, Gunnar Olsen from Pussifer play drums in a couple
Mhm.
of tracks because I guess the rest are being played by a drum machine.
Yeah, yeah. Everything else is electronic,
Yeah,
and Gunner was a last minute decision. Actually, we had already pretty much finished everything. Um, and then Jim just kind of came back and said, "You know, I think this song needs real drums, especially empty, because it had the heavier guitar. We just kind of thought, you know, it would add a lot more if it had real drums to it. So um, it was Jim's idea to use Gunner because he had used, I forget the other guy's name, from Porcupine Tree, and he just wanted to try
Gavin
something.
Harrison.
Yeah. So he just wanted to try someone different. Our first time working with Gunner, and he's just a pleasure. What a great guy. He just knocked it out. It just, I think a day or two at the most, and it was done. And yeah, I'm really glad we used him. So, uh, but only 3 songs, and that's it.
Mhm. Yeah. Why did you try to work with more people and it's just you and Jim? You wanted to make it personal?
Jim, he'd already had all the music done himself. He was, you know, I don't know. Personally, I don't know if they were like demos for him and then they became an album. But normally with Fates, he'll write an entire album with the drum machine and he'll play the bass and do everything else. And then he gives it to everybody else and everyone adds their parts. But maybe I'm not sure. I didn't. Maybe he told me, but I don't remember that he had done this with the idea of adding real drums and then decided not to. I'm not exactly sure. But when we were doing it, he wasn't going to do drums, and then we decided to use real drums. So, but no, we didn't really want to bring anybody else in. It was just kind of the two of us, and it was nice, just the two of us making decisions, not having to talk to anybody else about anything. Um, yeah, I think it was easier, less cooks in the kitchen, so to speak.
Yeah. Um, Before reading the press release, I was absolutely sure that perhaps the favorite tune of Jim must be No Maps. That's definitely Jim. Writing music when you from the first moment on. Okay, but can you tell me which was the most difficult or intriguing part of the writing and recording procedure? Because it has many similarities with Fates Warning, but it has some other things that are done completely different in a completely different way.
um, well, I mean, the difficult part for me was when he first sent me the music. That I was honest and I wrote it back, and this is all through email at first. And I said, I think it's going to be really hard to sing over this because I think the music is fine the way it is. It was meant to be, I think, instrumental. And he said, well, just give it a shot. Just see what you can come up with. And I did, and I'm happy I did. But and the first song, the the one that just came out, Open Book,
Mhm.
was the first one that he sent me. I think three or four songs, and I picked that one. I said, I want to work on this one, see what I come up with. And that was really quick. I think that whole song, I wrote the melody, the lyrics, and recorded it. I think, the entire thing in 4 days, 3 or 4 days, and sent it back to him. And the only thing that changed in that song was the bridge. We rewrote part of the bridge musically and melody wise. But I think as far as difficulty going into it, once that song was finished and finished so soon, so quickly, that we kind of knew that we were on the same page at that point. Like we knew, okay, this is a good idea. I think it's gonna be okay. Um, and that was great. But the No Maps was that was one song that was it was difficult, but the original song was acoustic guitar, and there was like this train in the background the whole time, this really quiet train moving through the whole track from the beginning to the end. And Jim said it reminded him of hobos. You know what a hobo is? You know, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so that's where I came up with the lyrics for that. And I wrote that, and I finished everything and sent it to Jim. And so what you hear on the album is what I recorded and sent to him. But he wrote me back and said, he goes, "No, man, I'm not feeling it. I don't think this works." And I said, "Well, I'll start over. I'll go." And he goes, "No. Give me a couple days. Let me work on it." And he just basically rewrote the entire song from beginning to end, and that's what you hear now is what he finished in probably, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days.
Based on
And
your vocal melodies and the
yeah,
lyrics that you wrote.
yeah. So he actually wrote the song around the melody, whereas it's complete opposite of what we would normally do.
Yeah.
So at the end, yeah, it's one of my favorite songs actually now. It's just a cool, weird song. It is a weird song, for sure.
Really, really good, not terrible song.
Yeah. So I like it. Yeah. There you go.
um, so, which are your goals for North Sea Echoes? Are you going to tour somehow or continue as a studio thing? Don't know how you will call it. Project, band, group? Don't know.
Never talked about it really.
Yeah.
Again, it's something that came about so fast.
Mhm.
Um, from him asking me, from to me doing it, to being finished, to getting the label. But we've never discussed playing live. I don't know. I mean, maybe we will. It'd be kind of difficult. We would
Yeah.
need a lot of keyboards or just a backing track, which is a
Yeah.
little silly. But I don't know. I would love to play it live. I think it's perfectly, we're capable of doing it. I just don't know. But and as far as the future, I don't know. I love doing it. I would be very happy to do another one, but we just haven't talked about it. I guess we'll kind of see
How it
uh,
goes. The
how it
reception,
goes.
the reception
Yeah,
of the
yeah. So far, the open book song has gotten really good response. I'm really happy with the way that people perceived it, but we'll see when it comes out.
don't know how they will react, but
Yeah, it's not Fates Warning. It's not Fates
yeah.
Warning at all. So don't want to disappoint people. And jokingly, when we were thinking of names for the project, whatever, and we were like, we were probably 6 songs in already, 7 songs. And he goes, "What are we gonna call it?" And I said, I was kidding. And I said, "Why don't we just call it Fates Warning, man?" And Jim was like, "Hmm." And then we both said, "No, absolutely not. No, we can't do it." First of all, Jim said he's not going to write another Fates Warning album. Second of all, I think the fans have been pissed if this is what they got for a Fates Warning album. I think they expect something else. I don't think it's fair to
Yeah.
the fans to have this come out. Although, you look at Opeth when they came out with Damnation, nobody was angry at them.
Yeah.
So
And in fact, it's one of my favorite Opeth albums.
mine too. Exactly.
Perhaps my favorite Opeth
Yeah.
album.
And for them to open a festival with that song, it's just like, amazing. Yeah, there you go.
And in order to make it, if I'm guessing well, I guess the next single could be either Empty or Throwing Stones.
The next one is Unmoved, actually.
Unmoved. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
next one. Again, I went to see Jim. I flew to New Hampshire, stay with him for a few days. We literally just to do photos, and it was again great seeing him. We hung out, drank a lot of scotch, and we did the photo shoot. And he's like, you know, while you're here, why don't we do a video? And I said, all right. So the morning before my flight back to Spain, we did the video like early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was very difficult because my wife was very ill. She was in the hospital recovering from surgery, and I just wanted to get home. I really just wanted to get home. Anyway, so in the video, you see me kind of walking around very sad, and I was because my wife is very sick. She's fine now,
Yeah.
and but that only made sense because there is an acoustic guitar through the entire song, and since we were going to be together, it just made sense for him to be playing the guitar and me singing. So that's why we did Unmoved
Mm-hmm.
for the video. But it's a cool song, it's a different song, but I think the video came out really, really well. I think that comes out, I don't know, next couple of weeks or something
Uh-huh.
soon. But there's 5 videos for this album. There's the open book that just came out, Unmoved, Throwing Stones, Empty, and Mission. Empty, Throwing Stones, Unmoved, open book.
Yeah, it's 5.
Four. Still a lot of videos.
Yeah.
More
Huh?
than for a Fates Warning album, put it that way. Yeah,
Way more commercial.
I guess. Just
Who knows? Who knows?
yeah,
I'm very anxious to see the reaction of the Fates Warning fans, the die-hard Fates Warning fans, how they react.
yeah.
But you know what? It's even if you don't know who plays, you can easily recognize that it's you and Jim,
I think so. I agree.
and uh, this this melancholic atmosphere that we have been discussing about as it at its finest,
Yeah,
as
it's
the
fine.
speaker says, at its finest.
I call it rock.
Melancholic rock, yeah. It's a new label that they put in bands. That's melancholic progressive rock.
Yeah, we got to come up with a new term for that. No,
Yeah,
mellow rock.
melancholic progressive rock at its finest.
Yeah.
Not just melancholic progressive rock. and and as soon as they hear your voice, then they say, okay, this is Jim and Ray. So as from the time that it's easily recognizable, I think the fans will be open to all these things because Jim has been playing that kind of music
Yeah,
in some way, mostly with OSI with Kevin Moore.
yeah, yeah. I
Although
think. I mean, again, the response so far is has been positive, and just yeah, people just seem the general consensus seems to be that people are just happy that Jim and I are still working together.
yeah.
Kind
That's
of,
the main thing. Yeah.
yeah, they're just happy about that, and that makes me happy that people still care at least.
Yeah, but
But we'll see when it comes out.
we'll see. We'll see. Well, the interview is done end of January. The album is out beginning of March, so we have plenty of days to see.
Yeah.
Um, you can understand that people are interested about Fates Warning as well. You have told us, and people already know that Jim is not interested in continuing Fates Warning, so there will be no Fates Warning album in the future, most probably.
Most probably.
Yeah.
Most
Um, however, I know that the easy answer to my question is ask Jim about it, but you have been an integral part of the band for a few decades now. So, what what do you see as the reason of not creating new Fate's Warning music? Is he tired of playing this kind of music? Uh, is it
I mean,
difficult to gather all the Fate's Warning members together? What's
well, I
your
mean,
opinion?
the thing with Jim is Jim is the writer for Fates Warning. He writes the music. He comes up with the whole concept or whatever of everything. However he feels, that's how the album goes. That's what he writes. But he said to me, to quote Jim, he said that well has run dry, Ray. That's just and for him to write an album that he is not completely behind. I think he thinks it's just unfair to him and to the fans as well. So to just write music just to make other people happy, I guess it's just not
Yeah,
his thing. I think he has to be happy with what he's writing too.
of
I
course.
think that'll probably come across in the music, but that's just again to quote Jim. He said that
Yeah.
well has run dry. So I think he's just being honest with the fans and with himself.
And that's the best thing he can do if he's not happy by writing this kind of Fate's Warning music, then
Yeah,
he should
I
not
mean,
create.
who knows? Maybe one day he will
Yeah,
become inspired
yeah.
again. Want to,
As he grew unhappy, let's say, with this music, then
yeah, maybe he wants to change. He
yeah,
wants something.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'll
Never
be
say
here
never.
if he changes his mind. I'll be here. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Never say never. But this time that we're speaking, he's not into that.
Yeah,
Does it play? Did it play any role? Because I guess it's very difficult to gather all Fates Warning members together
yeah.
because everybody has its own things that he's doing. Like Bobby, for example, who's playing in so many bands.
Bobby's rich. Bobby's happy. He doesn't really have to think that much anymore. Um, it's just country music. It's really quiet, and it's his favorite thing. He loves country music. I'm happy for him. But his schedule is. He also plays with George Strait's band. They're called the Texas Jam Band, and they have dates as well. And they do big shows. They do really big shows, bigger than Fates Warning, whatever. So no, he's just happy where he is. And it's really hard to get him out of that because of his schedule. And Joey's schedule with our Merciful Fate, well, not Merciful Fate anymore, but with Armored Saint and all the other bands he's in. But Joey, we talked to Joey, and he said he's free at a certain time. So try and we're trying our best to do some shows, man. Try
For the 40th anniversary of
yeah,
Fates Warning.
yeah. We're trying. We're really
Yeah.
trying. I think it'd be great.
Let's see what happens. And what about your plans? You have solo albums. You have A through Z. Do you have anything else in mind in store that you will? Uh,
No, I mean every now and then I'll do a couple of things for people. Like I did that figure of speechless with Glenn from Australia. That was fun. Derek Sherinian and those guys. But I working on the new AZ album right now. I was actually working on it this morning. Got three more songs left.
A through Z. A through Z.
Yeah,
You told me, yeah.
yeah, we're doing another album. It's almost finished. I have three more songs to finish, and then that's it. And then I guess I'll do another solo album because I don't know. We'll see. But I'm also trying to get some solo shows together. A European tour to do some solo shows, and we'll see how that goes. I'm talking to a booking agent right now, but again, trying to figure out the dates because if Fates goes out, then
Yeah, you cannot coincide with this,
yeah,
and you cannot do that 2 or 3 months before or after the Fates Warning.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll definitely
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Okay.
Try to keep busy.
I'm very happy that you are busy doing music because
Yeah, me too. I
music.
don't know what else I would do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's busy doing music, but creating good music, and people need uh, Rays and Jims of this world to create music.
Yeah, I do like your idea again of the acoustic thing. I hope
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
work that out. Just because it'd be something unique and fun.
Hmm. So before the end, a hypothetical question, let's say to end up this conversation. If you were to create a project with musicians that you haven't worked with before, which would they be?
Jeez, man, I don't know. I don't know who I really.
It could be fictional.
Yeah. I really, you caught me off guard there. I like working with who I work with. I like working with Jim and Bobby more than
Yeah.
and Joey more than anything. But I don't know. If I had that, if that was my wish, I'd say yeah, those same guys to do another Fates.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much for your time, Ray. It was a pleasure speaking again to you and a pleasure listening to your album, to tell you the truth. That was
Thank you.
very relaxing. It's very relaxing listening to the album because it's melancholic, progressive rock at its finest.
I really hope you enjoy it, man. Really.
Yeah.